20-yard line, and we are underway in a game which apparently needs no introduction. We're in the playoffs now. The sirens are going off, so we know we started at exactly 1 o'clock. It's an unintended consequence of having a kickoff at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. On the first Saturday of the month, that's when the the tornado sirens sound, and they're sounding here. So we know we're right on time, and the 9-0 North Farmington Raiders take on the U of D Jesuit Cubs. They come in with a record of 6-3. The Raiders, the first 9-0 Raider team since 1978, and they look to become the first 10-0 Raider team also since 1978. It's Brunette on the first carry of the football game, and he picks up a gain of 3 out to the 23-yard line. So we are underway. We are in Division 2, District 1, Region 3. You have to think of the state tournament as really 8 separate 32-team tournaments. And the Raiders are looking to advance to the district final in 1 week, and their opponent, should they win, will be the Farmington Falcons. That's right, we'll see a rematch of the Farmington Super Bowl that was played here at Holland Field just 3 weeks ago. We'll talk about that. A great upset pulled last night by the Falcons across the way. Passes dropped, intended for Aaron Rice, who was open in the flat. Wouldn't have gained that many yards, but it goes as an incomplete pass, and it brings up 3rd down and long for the Raiders. 3rd down and 7 from their own 23-yard line. Indeed, the Falcons went to Oak Park last night and pretty much shocked everybody. I think maybe shocked may be too strong a word, but they certainly surprised their coach, Corey Soroch, who was, when we taped the coaches show last Tuesday, how can we put this? He was not overconfident. Let's put it that way. He had great concerns about Oak Park, a team which won the OAA White Division, had an 8-1 record, and Busamra in trouble in the backfield, falls forward for what will go into the books as a 1-yard rushing gain out to the 25-yard line. But that's it. 4th and 5 for the Raiders. They fail to move the football on the opening drive of the football game. So the Jesuit will, after the 3 and out, presumably take over here, as we'll see a punt by Busamra, who's the quarterback and the punter. Snap is perfect. He's got time. And he left foots it away. Bounces near midfield, and the Cubs will let it roll down to the 39, down to the maybe 38-yard line, and they'll start right there. The U of D Jesuit Cubs, 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. .37 yards on the punt by Busamra. It'll be Nate Brown, number 9, at quarterback for U of D Jesuit. Their top running back, number 4, Nick Johnson. And they stand astride one another for the shotgun snap. Johnson finds a seam on the left side. Now he finds open air, and he's down to the 30, 25, 20. It's a foot race down to the 10, to the 5. He's brought down in the vicinity of the goal line. They'll say he's down at the 2-yard line. Holy cow, Johnson almost took it the distance. I believe that was Justin Bryant, number 4, for the Raiders on the desperation tackle at the 2-yard line. But it's a 60-yard run for Nick Johnson. And just like that, just underway, 9:52 to go here in the opening quarter. It is 1st and goal at the 2-yard line for the Cubs. U of D Jesuit coming in with 69.9 playoff points and a 6-3 record on the season. It's Johnson again. He's just going to cruise into the end zone. He's going to walk in there standing up. Touchdown, a 2-yard, 62-yard drive. I should say a 2-play, 62-yard drive. And my goodness, Jesuit leads 6-0 as Johnson takes it in. Xavier Chow, the place kicker, Kick is good. 7-0 UofD Jesuit. We are just getting settled into our chilly seats here on this Saturday afternoon. And the Raiders find themselves, well, they haven't found themselves trailing very often this season. They find themselves trailing here this afternoon. As they are shocked early by UofD Jesuit. 62 yards in 2 plays, all the yards gained by Nick Johnson. He opened the ball game with a 60-yard gallop all the way down to the 2-yard line, and he scored with ease on the very next snap. Nobody touched him as he trotted into the end zone to give Jesuit that 7-0 lead. So how about that? Well, the upsets have long been a feature of playoff football. And last night, just here in Division II, of the 16 games on the schedule, by the way, of the 16 games, this is the only one being played on Saturday. Everything else went down last night. 14 games, plus another was forfeited. Curiously, by Warren De La Salle, and I say curiously because when you look at the UofD Jesuits' history, and it dates back well before 1950, the team they have played the most is Warren De La Salle. And De La Salle yesterday forfeited their playoff game due to a hazing scandal that was uncovered. Gresham again on the return, this time out beyond the 25-yard line. So they forfeited their game to Birmingham Groves. There were 14 games played last night. And of the 14, the home team, the favorite, they went 8-6. So upsets did abound. They seem to always happen that way. As the Raiders go 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Busamra with a delayed handoff. And it's Gresham. He'll get a gain out to the 30-yard line, a gain of 4. So maybe the biggest upset of all was last night at Oak Park, where the Farmington Falcons, who get the winner of this one next week in the division final, they knocked off Oak Park 12-6. We'll have some time to talk about that. I did have a chance to speak with head coach Corey Soroch on the phone this morning. Pretty excited coach. As Busamra long over the middle, caught by Gresham. He's all the way out to midfield, a pickup of 20 yards. And a first down, and Gresham slow to get up. Took a hit to the head. And it's a pass to Gresham for 20. And it is 1st and 10 Raiders at midfield. Actually, they spot the ball at the 49. The 49 of UofD. So 21 yards on the catch and a first down, and the Raiders are into Cubs territory. It's turned into a bright sunny afternoon. It was raining when we got here. Here's Brunette with a gain of 3 to the 46, just plowing over the right side. So now the Raiders driving that long pass play, the 21-yarder from Busamra to Gresham, setting him up here at midfield. Jacob Busamra on the year, came into the game. He was 1 for 2 today. He was 96 for 141 this season, 1,952 aerial yards, 23 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Here's a quick hitter, bouncing off tackles and moving into the secondary. Goes Dooley. Now he's fumbled the football, and it's loose on the turf, and it looks like it's been recovered by UofD Jesuit. Or has it? No. No, falling on the ball is John Brunette. No, it's recovered by Jesuit. Jesuit has the football. They recover at the 47, their own 47-yard line. So the play had gained yards, but it's a fumble. It's a turnover by the Raiders. And at the 48-yard line, Jesuit takes over. Here's the replay. And it is recovered down there by Dorian Mauzi, number 5. So a rough start here for the Raiders. 7:36 to go here in the opening quarter. Already 7-0 in favor of UofD Jesuit. Brown's pass to the near side, incomplete. Aaron Rice right there in coverage. And it's second down. Brown, the quarterback, number 9. And it's second down and 10. So already here this afternoon, Jesuit with a 62-yard, two-play scoring drive, a 7-0 lead. And then the Raiders, after going 3 and out, were moving the football on their second possession, and they fumbled it. They turned it over. And here's Jesuit picking up. Well, that may be a first down on the carry by Jeffrey Knight. And it is. Already the third first down this afternoon for Jesuit. They move into Raider territory to the 42-yard line. That's a gain of 12. On the coaches show this week, both John Herstein and Corey Siroch, the coaches of the Raiders and Falcons respectively, talked about how you get to this point of the season and you don't really consider it an upset because only the best teams are playing now. The best 32 teams in Division II, and the divisions are established by enrollment. And so they say everybody's tough, and right now, to start, UofD Jesuit is tough. 1st and 10 from the Raider 42-yard line, and busting in. That Brunette wrapping up after the initial hit was made by Rashawn Lee, and the running back, Aaron Richard, is pushed way back, and now we have a flag, a late flag, and it's thrown on the Jesuit side of the 50-yard line, and it goes against the Raiders. I didn't see the signal, I'm afraid. But boy, a beautiful play by 58 Hunt. Right there, the running back, Richard, had time to take only a step before he was hit by Hunt, and I'm guessing it's a personal foul on that tackle. And the ball is moved all the way down to the 30-yard line. So a personal foul here against North Farmington. First down at Jesuit at the 30. Those penalties will kill you. Here's a run for no gain. Dooley, Sylvan Brown on the stop. And the running back was Knight, Jeffrey Knight. So the Raiders, a couple of big mistakes here in this first quarter. The turnover, the fumble just a few snaps ago, that has given Jesuit the possession of the football right now. And that personal foul penalty wiped out what was going to likely be a more than 5-yard loss on the play. Richard twisting and spinning, but able to pick up only a couple of yards to the 28. So 3rd and long now. Third and 8. And the way things are going for the Raiders, this is already a big play for them in this football game. They're 9-0, but they are back on their heels right now. Farmington Falcons, who play the winner of this one, are watching this game closely this afternoon. Brown dropping, throwing deep down towards the end zone, and it's incomplete. Had to squeeze it in there to Carson Hinton, and the ball's incomplete. And it's 3rd and 8. 4th and 8, I'm sorry. would be a 45-yard field goal from here. Now I was watching there, they're going to go for it. 4th down and 8. And really more like 4th and 9. That football's on the 29. 4th and 9. And Brown rolling to the near side, firing to the right side. And again, incomplete. So the Raider defense comes up big when they had to. They'll take over on downs here. Still trailing 7-0. And they get the football with 5.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 Raiders at their own 29-yard line. Yeah, we were just giving Busamra's stats for the year when the Raiders fumbled the football. But he's completed 66% of his passes. Miles Gresham leads the team in receptions. He caught that 21-yarder. He came into the game with 479 receiving yards, so that 21-yard catch gives him 500 for the season. Busamra with time, and he throws an interception. Picked off right there at the 30-yard line by Dorian Mauzi. And that is the 4th, and only the 4th interception thrown this year by Busamra. So the Cubs went for it on 4th and 9 from the 29, and on the interception, they take over at that same yard line, the 29. They have it 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. A bright, sunny afternoon here. You get a good look at Busamra. He just threw it to him. 7-0 U of D. 2 turnovers in this first quarter by the normally reliable, sure-handed Raider offense. Direct snap goes to the running back, and the gain's going to be nominal, a yard or so for Nick Johnson. Rashad Green Jr. credited with the tackle. It is indeed a gain of 1. Ball's on the 28-yard line. We go under 5 to play in the opening quarter. Again, the direct snap and a nice tackle. 81, Clark Crockett went low, and number 58, Rashad Green, went high. And again, they stop Nick Johnson for not much of a gain. He'll pick up another yard. 3rd and 7 from the 27. The line to gain the 19. It's 3rd down here. Remember the last time the Cubs had the ball in this vicinity, which is just a few moments ago, they did go for it on 4th down. Blitz coming, trouble coming. Sack has arrived in the form of Andrew Dooley. Number 6 brings him down in the backfield. The other team's quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard, says number 6, Andrew Dooley, and Brown does. And that puts the ball back at the 34-yard line. It's a loss of 6 on the sack. 4th and 13 now. Eddie Linton is deep, awaiting the punt, the presumed punt, from Xavier Chow. Well, there were Raiders in the vicinity, but they don't get a block on. They were careful not to run into the kicker, rough him in any fashion, but the football, that's a great kick by Chow. Where did it go out? The 11-yard line. At first, the official had walked down pretty close to that goal line, but he walks it back to the 11-yard line. So it's a 23-yard punt. And the Raiders will take over here at their own 11, trailing 7-0, but 2 bullets dodged now in the form of turnovers. Two big bullets dodged. Well, let's see if the Raiders can gather themselves offensively. There's a crossing route, a little slant in, and the ball was delivered to Eddie Lenton III, and everything worked perfectly on the play, except the ball was not caught. So we have partly sunny skies right now, partly cloudy. When we arrived here at about noon, about an hour before kickoff, it was raining. The forecast was for rain. Our temperature at kickoff was 40, and it had all the makings of a miserable day, but the clouds have broken for us. The rain has stopped. The sun has been out. And it's 2nd and 10 for the right now beleaguered Raiders. Busabra, a keeper, and he'll make it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Perhaps forward progress to the 16, and that's the case. So a gain of 5 on the keeper by Busabra. So 3rd and 5 from the 16. Or check that. I had my yard lines crossed. Busabra actually no gain. He wasn't at the 16, he's still at the 11. So it's 3rd and 10 from the 11. The Raiders deep in their own territory, staring down a 3 and out in the eyes. Time Busabra rolls, sets, throws back against the grain. I'll tell you, Kyle Crockett almost got away. Almost got away, but it's number 89 who reached out, Miles Hickman, and put the shoestring tackle on him. And what looked promising turns into a gain of 1. And it's 4th and 9 from the 12. So the Raiders, 2 3 and outs, 1 fumble lost, 1 interception. That's their offense so far here in this first quarter. Bit of a low snap. Busabra gets the kick away. It's a low line drive, getting a nice Raider bounce and roll, and it goes out of bounds at about the 46. In fact, at the 46. So 34 yards on the punt. And the Cubs 1st and 10 from the plus 46, the Raider 46-yard line. We're down to 1:38 to go in the opening quarters. We give you a shot of that Raider bench. Well, the good news is you look at the mistakes, the 2 turnovers, and they're still only down 7-0. Knight trying the left side. He'll pick up 3 or 4 yards before he gets drilled out of bounds. First man to hit him was number 21, Jesper Beeler. And as we've seen consistently in this first quarter, Rashad Green Jr. also in there on the stop. It's a 4-yard pickup for Knight. Knight in motion. The give went to Johnson, Nick Johnson. And he's swarmed over at the 40-yard line. Again, number 21, Jesper Beeler in there on the stop for the Raiders. At the gain of 2. Brings up 3rd and 4 from the 40. Quarter may come to an end before they snap the football. See the quarterback, Nate Brown, looking to the sideline. He does take that snap. Gives to Johnson, trying to get past. He did. He was able to get past Rashad Green Jr. and pick up that first down as he turned the corner on left end. He's down to the 35-yard line, got 5. So first down again for UD Jesuit. They've got it 1st and 10 at the 35. that is the end of the first quarter. So a quarter stunningly dominated by U of D Jesuits. The Cubs, or U of D Jesuit, and the Cubs, the scoreboard just died. It's 7, we'll tell you though, it's the visitors, the guests, U of D Jesuit, the Cubs with a 7-0 lead as we move to quarter number 2. The Raiders went 3 and out on the first possession of the football game. Punted. U of D Jesuit took over at their own 42-yard line. The first play of the football game was a 60-yard run by Nick Johnson down to the Raider 2. The next play was a 2-yard carry by Johnson, untouched into the end zone. The extra point by Xavier Chow was good. 7-0 Jesuit. The rest of the quarter, well, the Raiders on their next offensive possession moved into Jesuit territory but fumbled the ball away. Later, Raiders got the football back. Busamra threw a rare interception, only his 4th pick of the season. But the Raider defense held him off in both instances and kept the Cubs off the scoreboard. No further damage done. Nate Brown looking to go deep here and just does overthrow his intended receiver, Carson Hinton. Coverage by number 4, Justin Bryant. Take another look at it. You have to be impressed by Nate Brown's arm, don't you? A good release and actually overthrew his man here. So 2nd and 10 as we're just underway here in the second quarter. And the Raiders 9-0 in the unfamiliar position of trailing. 3 wides, split to the top of your screen, to the right of the formation, a diamond formation there. Brown's going to throw a flanker screen, and it's dropped, fumbled. It was a forward pass, not a lateral. Carson Hinton unable to gather it in. So 3rd and 10 now for U of D. The home field for U of D Jesuit used to be the original stadium for the Detroit Lions, the University of Detroit Football Stadium, over there off of McNichols. And they have refurbished it, and it looks just beautiful. But way back in the 1930s, that was the Detroit Lions' first home. At least their first home once they moved to Detroit. First Thanksgiving Day game was played at that stadium. I was visiting their website yesterday, surreptitiously seeking information on the Cubs, and they had a beautiful aerial photograph of that stadium, and I'll tell you what, they've done a beautiful job with it. Pretty good football team, too, from the looks of things. Little middle screen, and a nice job to stay at home by Andrew Dooley, and he puts the stop on the receiver, Dorian Mauzzi, and stops him short of the first down. In fact, the play gains but 2 yards. And it's 4th down and 8 from the 33. And it does look like they're going to go for it here. As Nate Brown went to the sidelines, got a play from his coach Matt Lewis, or one of his underlings. And it's 4th and 8, second time in the game so far. The Jesuit has gone for it on 4th down. They are 0 for 1. Brown will roll out, wants to go deep. Boy, he's hit just as he throws the ball flies high in the air, and it's caught down there. It's caught in the end zone, or was he out of bounds? Touchdown. They say touchdown. Unbelievable. Brown got drilled just at release, and that thing took off looking like a punt. Went high in the air, and it is caught in the end zone by Carson Hinton along the out-of-bounds line. Was he out of bounds? Now watch this. Brown standing in there, and he just gets clobbered. And you see Carson Hinton. Yeah, he had a foot in. It does look like he had a foot in. And it is a 33-yard touchdown pass. And a 13-0 lead for the Cubs, and the extra point from Chow is through. How about that? 14-0. U of D Jesuit. The touchdown comes with 10:49 left to go in the half, as you see. My, oh my. So U of D, they drive 54 yards in 7 plays. Their touchdown comes on 4th and 8, a 33-yard touchdown pass from Brown to Carson Hinton. And it is 14-0. And no, we did not expect to be sitting here talking about this. This is the first meeting ever between North Farmington and U of D Jesuit. The Cubs this afternoon thus, and I counted, become the 79th unique opponent in Raiders football history. They've never seen them before. They're trailing them here early in the second quarter by a score of 14-0. My name's Rich Kincaid here with you in the broadcast booth. Kickoff is corralled down there by Beeler. Beeler's got himself a little bit of a seam. He's out beyond the 30-yard line. And the Raiders will begin this possession 1st and 10 at their own 32. And as we see, 10:49, now 10:43 to go in the opening quarter. The opening half. I seem to do that every week, don't I? I'll say quarter when I mean half and vice versa. Well, sorry. All right. Jacob Busamra needs to generate something now, and he does. He completes a pass to Eddie Lenton, third, for 1st down yardage. Lenton tackled across the way by Twain Williams, but the gain is 11. The Raiders will have a 1st down at the 43 on the 11-yard gain you just saw. Raiders trail 14-0 here to U of D Jesuit. Coming in motion to the near side is Justice Clark. Flag in the backfield. Busamra gets it away, and it's caught by Eddie Lenton, the third. A solid gain down to near the 25-yard line, but let's look at the flag. It's against the Raiders. It's a procedure call against the Raiders. So that wipes out about a 32, 33-yard play. It's another big, costly mistake for North Farmington. I guess my question is, if it's a procedure call like that, why not blow the play dead? Now the Raiders have inadvertently given the Cubs a look at one of the plays they plan to run. It's 1st down and 15 after the penalty. Just a no-frills I formation, and the give goes to Burnett. He goes spinning and twisting and makes his way out to the 41-yard line for 3. Nick Johnson, who's running back for the Cubs on offense, in a linebacker role on defense, and he made that tackle. 2nd down and a dozen. What a shocker. If you're following this game on Twitter and you see it's U of D 14 and the undefeated North Farmington Raiders no score. And they gave Burnett only forward progress to the 41. Here's a pass to Eddie Lenton out to the 50-yard line. So that's a gain of 9. And it's 3rd down, 3 to go. The assistant coaches in the booth next to ours are yelling that that pass was incomplete. The official said no. You see it on the screen there. You see the sticks at the top of the screen. Third down, let's call it 4 because that's what it is. Third down and 4. The line to gain is the 47. Busama, backside pressure, gets the pass away, but out of the reach of John Brunette, incomplete. Fourth down and 3. So do you dare risk it? You do not. You send out the punt. You don't want to give U of D Jesuit possession near midfield, so you punt it away. John Herstein making that decision, and everyone would concur. 14-0 though for U of D Jesuit. This shocking story unfolding here at Ron Holland Field. Everyone expecting that after the Falcons won last night, a snap bounces to Busama, and he's going to have to run it, and then he falling tries to get a kick away, and it's going to be returned. And look out, this is going to be trouble. This is going to be trouble. Jesuit down to the 10 to the 5, down to the 2-yard line. It's returned by Dorian Mauzi, who has an interception for the Cubs already this afternoon, and now he returns a semi-block punt, and he returns it down to the 1-yard line. Another Raider error. It was a bad snap. Busama picked it up, dropped it, picked it up again, tried to kick it, did kick it, didn't get very much on it. It only went, 7, 8, 10 yards maybe, and it was picked up by Mauzi, and he returns the football to the 1. And it's first and goal from the 1 with 7:05 left in the half. We've had a timeout called. So the situation could hardly be more dire for John Herstein and the troops. They're already trailing 14-0 in what has been for them a mistake-plagued first half. The latest mistake resulting in possession for U of D Jesuit at the North Farmington 1. Nate Brown up under center, and Nick Johnson the sole running back, and it's Johnson. No signal. He didn't get in. That's why there's no signal. He's short. So they spot the, it's about as close to the goal line as it can be. Officially no gain, since the ball was already at the 1. But the tip of the ball is just hard up against the plane of the goal line. You would expect that Brown would keep it. The quarterback would sneak it in. He does. I'm not seeing a signal yet. I think they're going to say he didn't get in. Nope, there it is. Touchdown. Touchdown by Nate Brown. And it is 20-0. 20-0 Jesuit. Wow. Everybody was expecting, after the Falcons upset Oak Park on the road last night, that 1 week from now we'd be seeing a rematch of the Farmington Super Bowl, that it would be North Farmington hosting Farmington again. And this time, the entire season on the line, and now it's looking like maybe that won't happen. Still a long ways to go in this one. Now a big hill to climb for the Raiders. We're going to find out what they're made of now. 6:14 to go in the half. It is U of D Jesuit Cubs 21, and the North Farmington Raiders no score. Shocking. 21-0 Jesuit. That is a 2-play, 1-yard scoring drive. And for the record, it took 51 seconds. all of it, the result of the latest Raider miscue. They've had 2 turnovers officially, and they just had that whole series of mistakes on the punt that resulted in a possession for a punt return for Jesuit that gave them first and goal at the 1-yard line. And Xavier Chow prepares to kick it away again. Pretty good turnout by that Jesuit crowd, as you see on the far side. Very nice turnout. On a chilly and now becoming once again overcast Saturday afternoon. Temperature at kickoff was 40. We're expecting to get to about 44 or so here this afternoon at Ron Holland Field. It is Saturday, November the 2nd, 2019. This is the first round of the 2019 Michigan High School Athletic Association football playoffs, and the Beeler on the return for the Raiders to the 33. Jesper Beeler, his second return of the afternoon. And they'll say he was down at the 34, and so from there, the Raiders will start this possession. Their offense so far this afternoon has generated no points. That has to change. It has generated mistake after mistake, penalties, a personal foul that enabled the Cubs to keep a drive alive, a procedure call on their last possession, which set up the conditions for the punt return that resulted in a Jesuit touchdown. Busamra up under center. Pressure coming from behind him, and down he goes. He throws the ball to the turf. The booth next to me screaming for grounding. And I'm thinking they got a case. Now, he was outside the tackle box, but I don't think his throw got back to the line of scrimmage. But I don't see a flag. So it's 2nd down and 10. An umbrella formation here. The give to Brunette. Well, he's not going to get anywhere. I saw Miles Hickman, number 89, in there to wrap him up. And to give Brunette a yard on that play to the 35. It means 3rd and long again for North Farmington. They've faced it all afternoon long. 3rd down, 9 to go from the 35-yard line. 21-0, University of Detroit Jesuit. 21-0. We're midway through the second quarter here at Ron Holland Field. Out of the gun. Long down the near right side. Has a man caught down there. First down yardage and way more than that. Justice Clark on the reception. And Justice Clark all the way down to the 34. So the Raiders go from their own 35 to the opponent 34. That's 31 yards on the throw to Justice Clark. There you get a good look at it. Pressure was coming, but Clark was coming late, and he was wide open. Clark, we say 31 yards on that catch. Justice Clark with a team-leading 26.9 yard per catch average. Brunette on the carry, and it's no gain. Remember back in the first quarter when Miles Grushin caught that 21-yard pass, but he was taken to the turf hard, hit his head hard. I'm not sure that he's returned to the game. I see him down below on the sidelines, number 11, the leading rusher for the Raiders. Busamra hangs in there, so just a little bit too high. And that time, Clark unable to go up and get it. Maybe 3rd and 10 Raiders. See Buscema, that pressure was coming, but he stood in there. But threw it just a little bit too long. All right, 3rd and 10. Well, the situation with Gresham doesn't look promising to me. All right, here's Buscema on 3rd and 10. Long down the near right side, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Eddie Lenton III. But Williams there, right all over him. He thought he should have intercepted the pass, and maybe he should have. And it was Twain Williams. So 4th and 10. And the Raiders, trailing 21-0, are going to have to go for it. 4:25 left in the second quarter. The winner of this one plays Farmington. If the Cubs win, that game would be at Farmington. If the Raiders come back and they win, they would host. Timeout Raiders. All right. It is 21-0. I guess the thing that bothers me about this game is just the fact what we saw last night. So many upsets, but you see it every year, especially in the early rounds. In the first round, you just tend to see a lot of games, a lot of upsets. And Farmington certainly pulled off a shocker last night, 12-6 on the road against Oak Park. What a ball game! I had a chance to talk to Coach Corey Soroch, on the phone this morning. I asked him if it was, if that was the biggest moment of his coaching career is what my question boiled it down to. And he says, no, we won the district last year, which, he did. They did. The Falcons did. But also, he in the next breath, he said, but that may have been the biggest win in school history. Now, those of us who were here in 72 to see the Falcons blank the Raiders 27-0 right here on this field might beg to differ with that assessment, but we'd certainly agree that it was the second biggest win in school history. Remember, gang, the FHS class of 73 continues to rule. And I was there for that game in 72. That was my senior year. And it was just huge. The parties were nice. Buscema, he needs to gain 10. He's not. He's gonna. It's incomplete. Unable to get it to Lenton, unable to get it to the first down stick, and the Raiders turn it over on downs. 3 straight incompletions after the 31-yard completion to Justice Clark. And UofD takes over at the 34. It's funny how things work out. In that North Farmington game here 2 weeks ago, the turning point came early. It was a blocked punt that resulted in the Raiders getting the football at the one. No, they recovered that punt in the end zone. It was recovered in the end zone by Andrew Dooley, the guy who blocked it. And that gave them their first touchdown, and it turned out to be a 1-touchdown game. A nice open field tackle here by the Raiders' number 16, Des Blanche. And Aaron Richard out to the 40-yard line for a gain of 6. And last night in the game against Southfield, the Falcons were trailing 6-3 in the third quarter, or make it the fourth quarter actually. And Julian Ama blocked the punt to the Falcons, gave them the short field in the red zone. And Keon Shaw, just a couple of plays later, took it into the end zone to give Farmington the lead in the football game. They, at the time, were trailing 6-5. The touchdown and the conversion made it 12-6 Falcons, and that was the final score. No gain on that carry, and it's 3rd down and 4. Also, in the late in the first half, Eli Bride, the place kicker for the Falcons, hit a 40-yard field goal. And Southfield, at the time, it was the leading 6-0. That cut it to 6-3 at the half, and that alone had to make you wonder, because how often at the high school level do you see a 40-yard field goal anyway? But Eli Bride connected. I saw a videotape of it, and he made it with easily. Plenty of room to spare. Timeout for the Cubs here on 3rd and 4. And they needed all of that. And they got the safety in the third quarter. Another punting error by Oak Park. They snapped it over the punter's head. It went into the end zone through the end line for a safety. Later they would have that punt blocked by Julian Ama. And in all of it, plus the defense played by the Falcons in the football game, gave the victory 12-6. As we said, we taped the coaches show in our TV 10 studios last Tuesday, 5 days ago. And I can tell you that certainly Coach Soroch was anything but overconfident. He kept talking about how big Oak Park was, and the fact that they had 5-6 guys that were Division I prospects, and the fact that they'd beaten 5 playoff teams in the regular season, and the fact that they won the OAA White, and that's the division above the OAA Blue, the division that the Falcons and the Raiders aspire to. And they went in with an 8-1 record, and the Falcons went over to their house and beat them last night. So we all thought that was going to set up Farmington North Farmington 2. But boy, not the way things look right now. First down again for Jesuit as Jeffrey Knight turns the corner and moves into Raider territory. Flag, though. It's a flag. A couple of them, in fact. Likely hold against the UofD Jesuit here. Likely hold. Yes. So UofD Jesuit literally makes their first mistake of the football game as we are moving towards halftime. And it was 3rd and 4. This is a spot foul, spot infraction. So they'll walk it off from the place where the hold was committed. That's going to move the football back to the 34. So it's a net loss of 6 on the penalty. And it means it is now 3rd and 10. So let's see if the Raiders can take advantage of this break, this opportunity to take away a first down from the Cubs. There's some pressure in the backfield and a nice sack. Number 10, Stephon Jackson got there first, and Sylvan Brown, number 22, was right there with him to take down Nathan Brown. And that is a 10-yard sack. Second sack of the afternoon for the Raiders. 4th down and 20 from the 24. So we'll see a punt, and Xavier Chow, who does all the kicking for UofD Jesuit, is out onto the field. Back to return is Eddie Lenton III. Perfect snap, some pressure. Lenton backing up. He's going to have to let it go over his head. And now it takes the Jesuit roll to the 31-yard line. That's a nice punt. 45 yards on that punt. So 21-0. UofD Jesuit. And only a minute 11 to go in the half. Only a minute 11. 21-0. Your best running back and one of your best receivers, Eddie Lenton. Not Eddie, well, he is one of their best receivers, but their best all-around football player, Miles Gresham, number 11, on the sideline, was injured in the first quarter, has not returned. The man responsible for 11 rushing touchdowns, 7 receiving touchdowns, and 1 return touchdown, 19 touchdowns in all. Miles Gresham, and he's on the bench. And it's 21-0. Busamra over the middle. Incomplete. Boy, there looked like there was contact, and there is a flag. Looked like there was premature contact on Clark Crockett by Elijah Ricard. does the flag reflect that reality? They're going to talk it over. Pass interference against UofD Jesuit. 15-yard penalty will move the football to the 46. No, first and 10 Raiders now, out near midfield. 1:06 to go in the first half. Jesper Beeler being moved to the top of your screen there by the quarterback Jacob Busamra. Got some time. Throws over the middle. It's complete to Justice Clark, and Clark about a yard shy of the first down, depending on where they spot the football. I thought he had made the 45, but I believe forward progress will be marked at the 46. So it's a gain of 8 on the pass to Clark. And they come right to the line, the Raiders. Busamra pressured. Plays for another interception. Picked off down there. Second interception of the half. It's Carson Hinton who gets the pick. And that is 3 turnovers for North Farmington. That is a flag after everything's over. It's going to be a post-possession flag. It's probably a Taunton call against the Cubs. It's really not going to matter because there's only 29 seconds to go in the half. That is 2 interceptions for Jacob Busamra, who threw 3 of them all season long, plus a fumble lost, plus a botched punt that resulted in a first and goal at the 1 for UofD Jesuit. And let's see here. Now, he signaled defensive holding. Let's hold everything. This may still be Farmington's ball. The official at the top of the screen talking with Cubs coach Matt Lewis, but they're walking this off. It's a holding call against UofD Jesuit all the way down to the 26-yard line. Works out to be a 20-yard penalty. And it's first and 10 Raiders at the 26, so they have new life here. How about that? Or do they? Maybe they're calling a hold on the return, because that is decided. That is not the Raider offense on the field. It's the Raider defense. So the ball belongs to UofD. Again, 29 seconds left in the half. So the interception stands. Holding on the return, although there really wasn't a return. But at any rate, that's the situation. And now the Raiders call timeout. Nope, halftime. They just let the clock run. We've gone to halftime. Well, this is a stunning situation here at Ron Holland Field, as the Raiders, just uncharacteristic in that first half with mistake after mistake after mistake. And you see the situation. The guest, UofD Jesuit Cubs, they have a 21-0 lead over the North Farmington Raiders. So what we will do is we will take a break. We'll gather ourselves. The Raiders will do the same thing in their locker room here at Holland Field. And you have to wonder if there's much that can be done. Again, Miles Gresham, their star, 19 total touchdowns on the season coming in, as the Raiders built that 9-0 record. Injured in the first quarter, has not returned to the football game, is on the sideline, but has not returned to the football game since he was shaken up. So 21-0, the Cubs lead the Raiders. We'll gather ourselves, as we say, and we'll be back to bring you second half action. You are watching the Michigan High School Athletic Association football playoffs right here on TV 10, and we'll be back with you shortly.